Hello everyone. On this tutorial I want to show you how to create your very own WordPress website. And so you'll go to wordpress.com, and WordPress is a content management system which allows you to build an entire website with pages and posts and all kinds of other interactive features without really having to know any code. And so WordPress offers a free version. I'm going to walk you through how to create an account and get your website up and running that you'll use all semester for your website project. And you'll see here 43% of the web is built on WordPress. So you'll be learning how to use this content management system, and chances are you may work for a company someday that uses WordPress and you'll know kind of how it runs. So the first thing I want you to do is click here and start your website when you go to wordpress.com, and then it's going to ask you for an email address. You can use your personal email address or your Texas State email address, but since I've done this many times, I'm going to go ahead and just use my Gmail here. I'm going to make up some random email because they will flag it and see that I have already done this. So put in your email. Then it's going to ask you to choose a domain, and the domain again is kind of what you see up here in the address bar. So go ahead and start typing in some words that might have to do with your topic. So maybe cycling in Central Texas, and press enter, and it's going to give you all kinds of different options. Now if I want cyclingincentraltexas.com, that is actually a what they call kind of a vanity domain, where it makes sense and it's kind of a sentence. Now it's going to be free for the first year, but after that you're going to have to pay. So, and that's what they recommend. So I don't recommend that you get into that kind of a plan because they're going to ask for your credit card and all that kind of stuff there. Other ones, they've got some other, options for you. And really, if you scroll down here, they're going to give you all kinds of different options. Click on the one that says free. That's free with no strings attached. And it's going to also try to upsell you at some point and say, okay, you can do all these different plans. We don't want to deal with any of those plans. We just want start with a free site. So go ahead and click on start with a free site. And we just want to do everything we can to make sure you don't have to pay anything. Now from here, it's going to ask you, do you want to start writing or do you want to start building your site? We want to start building it. We'll get to the writing part here in a couple of weeks, but to start out, we just want to start building the site, make it look nice, publish the homepage, and make it look customized. So I'm going to click here, Start Building, and it's going to allow me to choose what's called a theme. Okay, so there's all kinds of different themes that you might want. The more kind of robust themes that are here sometimes can be a little bit confusing. So I usually tell students to start with something pretty simple. These 2016 and 2017 and 2015 themes, those are usually going to be the best because those were the main theme that WordPress provided each year. So anyway, there's probably a 2022 somewhere in here, but anyway, I'm just going to pick a very basic theme and kind of choose one based on your topic a little bit. So, if you were doing a photography one, maybe that's the one you'd choose. If you're doing one on food, you might find one that has some food in it. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just choose this one. And you can always preview them too if you want to just see how it might look. Even though you don't really have much content on it yet, it'll show you how it looks on a desktop, tablet, and mobile device, which is pretty cool. So let me go ahead and go back. If I want to start with this one, I'll click Start with Barnsbury. It's going to lay the foundations, meaning it's going to give your site that theme. Now, what it brought me to here is called the WordPress Dashboard, and you're going to get really used to seeing this. So we've got all these different options here on the left to make posts and pages and deal with comments and all that kind of stuff. Right now, we're kind of on the home section of the dashboard, and the first thing it's telling me here is to give my site a name. So I'm going to go ahead and name it and say, I know I started saying this was a cycling in Central Texas and then I chose a food theme, but I'll go ahead and cycling in Central Texas, give it a nice name, and then a tagline if you want to, reviewing the best spots in the area. And then down here, it should be the time zone, should be Chicago. And at the end of this, I'm going to go ahead and save it. That way I have it saved. And what I want to do now is right here it says launch site. Okay, so we want to make sure that our site is launched, and what that means is publicly available and viewable by other people. Right now it says it's hidden from visitors behind a coming soon notice. And if I go in to grade your site and I see coming soon, you're not going to get any credit for what you're doing. We need to make sure we launch it and that it's publicly available. So go ahead and press the button launch site, and it's going to go through this process again to say, hey, are you sure you don't want to pay for a domain? No, we don't want to pay for anything. So at the very bottom, it says this is your current free site address. We're going to skip the purchase. So make sure you press skip purchase. And then again, it's going to say, hey, are you sure we can, upsell you all this stuff? We don't want any of that. We just want to start with a free site. And then it's going to publish your actual site. And it's going through the process of assigning it to the domain and getting it going, installing the theme, and getting everything ready. So great, it says you launched your site. Perfect. So we also want to visit the site. Let me go click here to visit site, and that's going to open a new tab with my cyclingincentraltexas.wordpress.com up here, and then it's got all the demo content that they've created. Okay, and so beyond just publishing it and making your WordPress account, there are some more things that they're going to want you to do to set up your site before we start posting or customizing anything. And it says here, show site setup. Okay, we want to see the setup that they want us to set. So we've already done give it a name. The next one is to update your homepage, which we'll get to in a second. You do need to confirm your email address. Okay, and if you don't do that, it will probably not work for very long. Your site might go down. So you're going to want to make sure you do that. We will get to creating your menu, and then you don't need to try the WordPress app if you don't want to. You may want to, and then eventually we'll get to posts. Okay, so we will cover all these things here in the next week or so, or a couple weeks. But the last thing is we do want to make sure this last one is checked, because we do want to make sure our site is launched. Again, that means that everyone can see it. Okay, in the next tutorial, what I want you to do is start customizing the homepage that you've made. Okay, so in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do that.